Okay, good afternoon. It's great to see you all here today. We're going to be introducing you to Cisco Meraki's SD-WAN solution. First of all, let's get the introduction underway. My name is Tom Glenn. I work as a business manager here at ISDM within our networks division. I'm joined by our partner CTO Alex Pozzi, who I'll hand over for a brief introduction.
Thanks, Tom. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining. I am a partner CTO here at ISDM Solution. My name is Alex Pozzi, and as one would expect, it's managing the business technology architecture, my role, but actually the core focus is the direction of our customer needs and what our business can do to support you on this journey. Hence why we are doing the SD-WAN introduction today on the webinar.
Thanks, Alex. Our focus of today's session is for you to gain understanding of the driving force behind SD-WAN, why choose Meraki as a SD-WAN solution, and how it can help you to implement simple yet secure connectivity. Today, we're going to give you an overview of who ISDM are, the Meraki solution stack, why SD-WAN. We'll then go onto Meraki's SD-WAN solution, followed by a quick demo of the management dashboard. After the demo, we'll do a recap on the Meraki portfolio. We're then going to explain how ISDN can help you to take advantage of this solution, along with our managed service capabilities. And finally, we have time for questions and answers at the end, but please feel free to ask questions as we go along. The chat windows here is you can ask questions in there as well. We'll aim to keep the session within 30 minutes. I appreciate the sun is shining. It is lunchtime. We have rapidly grown into an international operation with offices in Belfast, Halifax, Cambridge in the UK, along with Washington in the US and Singapore in Asia. We provide end-to-end consultancy across network infrastructure, security, collaboration, and smart building technology. The Enterprise Networks division, which myself and Alex are a part of, was established in December 2019. Its goal is to diversify the traditional ISDM collaboration business, but also support the successful delivery of key projects. It is now fully integrated into the ISDM core principles. We are working with key customers to support their digital journey. Our mission is to remove all network complexities, providing a single pane of glass from a management perspective, which is echoed by our partnership with Cisco and Meraki, who we work exclusively with from a networking perspective. In 2012, Cisco acquired Meraki, a cloud-managed IT company that was gaining a lot of traction in the industry for its approach to handling business IT networks, all managed within a single cloud-managed dashboard. Meraki's portfolio has grown over the years, starting with the business Wi-Fi with the MR series, followed by the switching across the MS range of switches, the MX routers, which also act as a firewall, and this is where Meraki's SD-WAN solution comes into play. Meraki then moved into the endpoint management side of things with their Systems Manager product, helping businesses to integrate mobile devices into the network. Then came along the Meraki Insight product, which is designed to give customers an easy way to monitor their performance of web apps and WAN links on a network. One of the most recent products that Meraki launched into the range is Meraki Vision, which is a collection of indoor and outdoor network cameras that are simple to deploy and configure, all integrated into the Meraki dashboard, which Alex will go through today. One of the biggest benefits of Meraki is how much it can save customers on operational costs compared to the traditional networks, along with its built-in analytics and APIs that we'll cover as well. Before we go into Meraki's SD-WAN solution, I wanted to cover some of the business trends and drivers for SD-WAN. Applications have grown significantly over the years. Now we're currently at over 20 on per sort of organization, enterprise, and this is only going to increase more rapidly over the next few years, especially over the last 12 months with the explosion of various collaboration applications, Zoom and WebEx. As a result, legacy MPLS links are becoming under increasing pressure with the growth of the business SaaS apps, which I mentioned, and the site-to-site traffic as well.
So we almost need to look at the future WAN options, right, Tom?
Correct.
So as you hinted, and I'll take over. We need to be a bit smart on how we use our WAN links, or how we choose from our service provider. And as you mentioned, traditionally companies only use MPLS links to connect remote sites. Well, we're seeing increasingly today, but it's already begun and it's undergoing, where companies are now using standard broadband fiber lines to connect remote sites. So arguably, it's going to be a lot cheaper, and we can keep on using the traditional MPLS link. However, I would say 99% of customers at the moment are using a load balancing type approach, where we can use, as we can see below, scenery 2, where we use both MPLS networks and a separate fiber line, so we can either load balance or offload non-business applications on a broadband line. But as you will see with the Meraki firewall, it is a built-in resilient product, very simple to use, and not only it's simple, but it's also robust and reliable. So when talking about on some of those key points, we want to make sure that whatever we get in terms of service provider link, we can either load balance, or we can set primary, secondary, or we can use failover. Now, these designs are all supported in any Meraki MX portfolio. So whether we choose for a lower small business branch appliance or a big data center appliance, we have 2 WAN ports on all products. We also include 3G, 4G failover. Therefore, we can load balance or failover if needed, or if we are in a scenario where broadband isn't really an option and we're remote and cellular is the only way to move forward, then we can do that. And SD-WAN obviously works on any type of WAN link. But then we've got the flexibility to say we want a one office in a box type solution. So we can choose appliances with almost a dozen ports, even PoE available on the box. And again, keeping the redundancy model in mind. So we can have fully redundant active deployment or active passive deployment. And all of this is automated within the Meraki dashboard. So how does SD-WAN work? Well, it uses the Auto VPN feature built in the box. You literally click on the box to enable that, and I can show you in a demo later. But basically, it uses any WAN link that you have installed at your site, and the Auto VPN uses an algorithm behind the scenes to say what is the quickest and most efficient way to get from site A to site B. So it automatically builds these VPN tunnels and tears them down as and when they're needed, especially if you have a multi-site deployment. But at all time, it is fully and centrally managed through the single pane of glass in the dashboard. And as a single pane glass management, we expect full visibility and analytics. In fact, you can see not only application level consumption, but you can see all the users within the network, and you can see in the SD-WAN deployment what links are using, how much data, and what type of data, and where is that data going as well. But not only we can see performance-based monitoring tools, so latency, packet loss, jitter, all those incredibly complicated stats that are normally difficult to set up on a traditional solution. It is all automated on Meraki. So if we look in a little bit more detail on this next slide, we can see how in depth the analytics go in terms of monitoring those WAN links. So we can keep an eye on our primary and our secondary WAN links if there is any packet loss or any jitter. And this is almost real time. So it will take a few seconds, obviously, to go from your MX to be processed in the cloud. But this is pretty much real time, and we can keep up to 30 days records in the dashboard. We can extend this SD-WAN approach also in the cloud for any of your business apps. We natively integrate with AWS and Microsoft Azure. So if you have any business applications that are hosted in AWS and Microsoft Azure, there is an additional product that has been built to be native within this cloud called the VMX. Now, the VMX will act as a separate MX firewall, which is based in the cloud. And when you turn on the SD-WAN button in your dashboard, it will automatically build that VPN tunnel from your site all the way into your cloud apps, making it A, more secure, but B, also much faster to get to and from your business apps because it uses SD-WAN. Therefore, it uses again that logical algorithm to get your traffic the best path and the quickest and the most efficient from your site to the cloud. So going back to that original slide, I think Tom was talking about moving away from just a single MPLS line to connect your sites. Let's consider multiple ISP connections into your site. So if we have a primary MPLS and a secondary fiber, or both fiber, or even a combination of 4G, we can choose all different type of topologies and deployments where we can enable active-active load balancing or performance-based routing choices, so we can push all of our business critical applications through a preferred WAN connection. So if we have an MPLS, we'll probably want to put only business relevant apps down that MPLS line, and all the rest, especially internet local data, into the cheap broadband and fiber line. We can also enable dynamic path selection. So this is really, really cool in a dashboard because with just a click and a toggle on the option, you can select whether to use a dedicated line if and when the performance is good. If the performance starts degrading on a specific line, we can automatically assign the traffic to go through a different WAN link, or even if in case of a failover, the firewall will automatically switch over to the more performing or the available WAN link. So as mentioned, we are going to do a quick and brief demo of the dashboard. So I'm going to grab control and share my screen. Tom, let me know if this is visible.
Yeah, I can see that now.
Lovely. I'm going to reduce this here. Now, as we expect, when we log on to the dashboard, we get a full summary review. So where we have the sites deployed and what are their health status. I'm going to click, for example, on Scotland Yard. Oops, I think I timed out. No bother. Quickly re-log in. Select the network. And when we click on Scotland Yard like we did, we would then be rerouted to this page where it shows us all the clients connected and, as I mentioned, the application visibility. So this is available almost instantly when you plug in an MX device. It obviously takes a little bit of time required to gather this type of information because it only collects it as data traverses the MX. But then we'll be able to then have a category of each and every application and how much data is using for that application, especially if we want to see per application what clients are contributing to that application. But specifically to SD-WAN, if we had a SD-WAN deployment, we get this lovely page called the VPN status, and already gives us a lot of very useful information, such as usage and latency, but also the health status of the remote sites. So whether these sites are connected, and not only if they're connected, what is the average latency and what is the health of this site. Another really cool thing about having the VPN status, it builds also its route table, so you are able to then automatically get the routes of each and every site through this lovely little page. And then if we wanted to drill in to how this is built, all you have to do is navigate to the site-to-site VPN configuration of this MX. And as you can see, we've selected this to be the main hub just by toggling that option. And then it pulls out all the VPN related configurations. Now, one thing to mention as well when looking at DMX is the amount of visibility it actually gives us on the links, not the backend configuration. As we saw, it's very easy to select and toggle. But what we actually like about DMX is the visibility you get of your network and especially of your ISP connection. So we can see some very useful information here, such as our WAN IP address. We get an automatic domain name for the MX appliance if we need to for VPN purposes. And then on this status page here, if you click on uplink, this is where we see that screenshotted information in the presentation together with lots of information regarding our uplink and ISP connectivity. But we can see almost live data on our uplink. So how much is being used by this connectivity, what is the average latency, and what is the packet loss. So if we saw some very high packet loss on the network, we can go back to the service provider and say, hey, we're seeing almost 20% at peak times of packet loss. Can you please have a look? And you can also get this information and screenshot it. So if we were to look at past 30 days, it would show us the information over this connectivity for the last 30 days. And as you can see, it's pretty much standard for a very cheap broadband fiber line. We get approximately 50 meg. So another good way to see that is on a tools page where we can see the various tools bits, but there is a dashboard throughput tool that you can click to select and run. So if your service provider is also not meeting the services that they said they were supplying, this is one cool way of testing it. So again, there isn't a lot to show because it's all very, very easy. And within the status page, it's all self-explanatory when it shows the device status and health. But this is really useful for customers that don't have time to sit down and develop all this, and they just want a button to click and enable and bring up remote sites. As we've seen in the past 12 months, this has become of increasing demand. So I'm going to stop sharing here. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. But I think the next stop is talking about why ISDM.
Thanks, Alex. I appreciate you going through a demo there. It's really insightful to see the dashboard in action. And we've spoken a lot today around the capabilities of Meraki, specifically SD-WAN, but also what's on offer across the network stack. And it's important I want to note that with all of this technology, we have the accreditations across Meraki and Cisco networking to back this up as well, from Meraki Master accredited, CMNA and CMNP accreditations, along with CCNP across our engineering team. And this, with these expertise, we're able to provide full network design and evaluations without causing any sort of hassle or downtime for you as a business. Once we've designed and put network in place, we have we have 24/7 support and a help desk on hand to with any sort of potential issues, and to be on hand to support around the clock. And we have immediate reporting, as we've seen on the dashboard, available with some API integrations as well that we can support into the business.
That's
Now I'm going to
correct.
hand over to Alex. Yeah.
So going back to our mission statement, we want to make networks easy and quick to deploy for our customers, but also given a single pane of glass management if they need and want the visibility, which of course we all want that. But again, instead of just installing and walking away, we offer full 24/7 managed service support. Tom, you mentioned API integration. That's a cool topic. In fact, I believe you showed in one of the starting slides, you can see Meraki that I've drawn out an average of daily API requests, which are over 2 million. So we can do a separate session. I think it would be cool to highlight what the APIs can do. But in a nutshell, thanks to the dashboard API, we can extract all of this useful information and analytics, and we can do great integrations, such as integrating with your business messaging app like WebEx Teams or Microsoft Teams to send out any warnings or reports. We can integrate with separate syslog servers. So even before there is an issue detected from the end user on the network, we are notified before that happens, and we can quickly remediate and secure and isolate the problem. So I think bottom line to highlight with our fully managed service proposal is obviously turnkey installations and management of projects, very quickly to turn off and on services and features for customers. We can scale to almost any requirement. So if it's a multi-site, hundreds, even thousands of sites capable within very short amount of time, and increasingly reduce costs, because we're all doing it centrally. It's all cloud-based, and this helps reducing costs for deployments. It is
Thanks,
important
Alex.
to note as well the full Meraki stack that we cover, not just SD-WAN. Is that correct, Tom?
Yes, and going back to our initial Meraki slide and recapping on the Meraki portfolio, we have the wireless offering available today under the MR series, the SD-WAN and security capabilities under the MX range. This is where the SD-WAN piece comes in. Meraki Insights to monitor the health of the network and the applications. We have the network switches under the MS range, along with the systems manager, providing you with mobile device management, and the Meraki Vision product range with video surveillance capabilities, both outdoor and indoor. The key point here is that all products within the Meraki product range is managed within one single pane of glass. And at ISDM, I know we've mentioned sort of Meraki SD-WAN today, but we can deliver across the full range of Meraki products here that we've demonstrated. Thanks for joining us today. And as a thank you, we are offering all attendees a free consultancy call to review your existing network and SD-WAN readiness. The justification to look at SD-WAN is there to see with what we've gone through today, with with the cost savings on traditional MPLS and the operational advantages with Meraki's SD-WAN solution and the dashboard. We'll now close off with any questions, and thank you for listening. If you would prefer to ask questions offline, please take note of our info@isdmsolutions.com email, and please feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Lovely. Thanks, everyone.